Welcome to Heat Check, powered by Defunct.com. These are the highest selling vintage t-shirts over the last 2 weeks on eBay. Now, before we get into the list, I do want to highlight my friend's eBay store, Tratog-0. He recently got in a bunch of vintage black metal t-shirts. We have Witchery, we have Dark Throne, Kitty, DRI. Look at this. This one right here is signed. This t-shirt is signed by the members of DRI, and he's only asking $50 for it. Would probably be asking more if those sleeves were on there, but you know how I feel about that. We have Vader 666. We got all kinds of vintage. We got Ministry 1996. So many, and he's got so many more. He'll be listing a bunch more. Deicide right here. So if you're interested in picking up one of these t-shirts, check out the link in the description below. And check him out and make him an offer. He's certainly reasonable and has a lot more cool stuff coming, so make sure you follow his store. Now, coming in at number 10, we have the 1990s Mad Season Circus Freak t-shirt. Look at this thing. Putting a nail through the nose. That's gotta hurt. Looks like we don't have a tag. That's not unusual. This stuff happens. A little bit of like maybe paint splatter. Generally though, looks like it's pretty good condition. Double stitch. Do want to dispel the myth that if it's not single stitch, it's not vintage. This is certainly vintage, but in the late 90s, single stitch became the standard. So we got one little hole right there, but nothing too crazy at all. This one did sell for $1,199.95. Then up next at number 9, we have a classic My Bloody Valentine Loveless 91 on the Oneida. Size XL, great size, and this t-shirt looks like impeccable. So clean, it feels suspect. That's what I always say. This is something you would definitely want to make sure that you're confident and comfortable with being authenticated before you purchase. So definitely something you want to check out before you throw in the price that this person paid. But otherwise, if this checks out, this is a fantastic version of this and probably the best condition I've ever seen. This one sold for $1,200. Next up, we have the Ice Cube Wrap Tee. This one's cool. Love the fade on this one. What can I do? Love the lightning on the back. This is super sick. We see these wrap tees pretty often, but this one I like probably more than most. We got some damage, not that crazy. Maybe a little bleach stain right there. Looks like this is size XL, so even better. I love this graphic. That is a sick one. Printed in the USA. Let's say 1995. Yeah. The holy grail of bootleg wrap tees. He acquired from an original owner who bought it from Nashville back in the 90s. Very cool. Definitely love to have original owner stuff. Looks like he has pH tested the piece for dry rot, and it came back a solid 6.7. No dry rot, but it's super fragile. Should definitely be cared for. Yeah, it's just old. Just got probably looks like it's got plenty of wear. I mean, this one is super sick too. This one also sold for $1,200. Next up, we have the Deftones Around the Fur. Check this one out. Looks like in great condition. Deftones tees have been popping off over the last few years. This one is no surprise and definitely a pretty sick one. You don't see this tag that often. King Queen. Cotton made in Myanmar. I don't even think it's called Myanmar anymore. Size L. T-shirt looks fantastic. If you're a Deftones fan, or even if you're not and you want to appear as one and appear really cool, this is the t-shirt for you. This one sold for $12.50. So next up, we have a 3D Emblem. The South is where it's at. This one we haven't seen as often, and it's been a few weeks or a few trips around the Heat Check that we haven't seen this one make the list. So we're going to include it, but just so that everyone is clear, If a t-shirt should make the list 2 weeks in a row, it actually is left off that second week. So you can only make it basically once every month. So if that same design shows up again if this same design shows up again next week, we will leave it off, even if it does sell really high. So just heads up, just to keep it, keep some variety in the mix. But this one, super cool. Definitely a very valuable 3D Emblem t-shirt. This one sold after 28 bids for $1,280. Next up, we have the Midnight Express, size XL. These old wrestling t-shirts, especially some of the rare ones, just absolutely rip. This one's super cool. No back hit, kind of a bummer, but the Midnight Express front hit on the front is definitely makes up for that. This one is super cool, size XL too, and it looks like it's pretty clean. Let's see. It says it was never worn, but shows signs of age, which was a prism, blah, 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 blah. Yeah, so who knows? Maybe it was never worn and it's technically in dead stock, but there's probably, white t-shirts are just a magnet for mess. So, but either way, this one, WCWT, sold for $1,325 after 38 bids. All right, another t-shirt we have seen somewhat recently. I don't necessarily know that this design was, or this colorway made the list, but this design made the list a few weeks back, and I did wrestle over including it, but it's always good to know kind of what these things are going for and keeping track of it a little bit. This one, the Cramps mosquito head, we have seen sell. There's multiple colorways. This one, I think, is the more common colorway. But this one looks like in pretty good condition. Not showing us any holes, so that's always a good sign. Size XL as well. That's kind of tough. Doesn't look like XL size, but I don't think it's stretched out correctly. So, either way, it's a pretty dope t-shirt. It does appear like it runs pretty small. 19 inches across would not necessarily be a modern XL. But either way, this one sold for $1,500. Then we have the vintage De La Soul Winterland t-shirt. Supposedly super rare, and probably is because I've never seen it on the list. I imagine this would have made the list. 1991, so I believe it's a fairly early Winterland. De La Soul is dead. Super cool graphic, definitely kind of like really has sort of a modern streetwear vibe, even though this is from '91. Super cool t-shirt. Looks like it's in great condition. It is a size medium, they think. Let's take a look at what their measurements were. That's not really the measurement I want, but kinda. It's not really. That's not really the pit that you want. But it does kind of look maybe like it might be kind of small. Yeah. Either way, 41 bids later, this one sold for $1,525. Then at number 2, we have a rare vintage Berserk t-shirt. This is an anime, and you guys know that I know very little about anime. At this point, I probably should educate myself a little bit better, seeing as we see anime t-shirts pretty often these days. But it's a pretty cool tee, I'll admit. I love how the copyright information is on the sword. That's super cool. Cool little spot there. On the, I believe is the European Screen Stars tag, size large. A little bit of cracking, not surprising, but otherwise the graphic looks like it's in great condition. Let's see, they don't give us much information. Size 22 by 28, so good size. It is in the XL range, large or XL range. This one sold for $2,000. Then at number 1, we have The World Is Yours NOS tee. This one is incredible. What a grail. This one sold out of France. Looks like, yeah, France. Sold out of France. Very cool. Fabric is in good condition, a little damage. Let's take a look at this. The graphic is great. These NOS tees are very valuable, hard to find, and anytime they come up, they do sell for a ton. I'm not seeing particularly anything like a significant damage. So yeah, this is in like really good condition. But I did have the seller of this t-shirt reach out to me and showed us the confirmation of the sale. It did go around a little bit, but either way, this one at number 1. Congratulations. We have this NOS tee selling for $2,700 for the number 1 spot on this week's Heat Check.